Hi, everyone. How are you? I pray that all of you are doing amazing and that you are having an amazing day so far. All of us go through what we can often call a wilderness season. We all go through times in our lives when it seems like we just are not able to figure out how to get out of that tough spot. And I want to jump right into this because I just believe that you want to hear what I'm about to say. I want to tell you how to navigate some of the tough spots that you see yourself in. Sometimes when we're in a tough position, we don't know who to blame. Sometimes we blame God. That's usually the first go to. Sometimes we blame the enemy of our souls, which is the devil, right? And all of his little imps and demons and whatever assignment it is that he has for our lives. And then sometimes, this is really the last one, and the least that we can add a percentage to in terms of if we were going to do percentages, we blame ourselves. But that really is the last recourse. We don't very often blame ourselves. And so as I look at the children of Israel, I think about how they came out of Egypt, and they were a people that had grown to such great numbers. They were ready for their exodus. And I think about how long they remained in the wilderness. Some of you may be in a wilderness season. You may be in a part of your life where you just feel like, I'm never going to get out of this. It looks like God is not with me. And I want to give you a couple of tips on how to navigate those tough spots in your life. I want to give you a couple of tips on how to navigate the tough spot that you're sitting in right now. And so the very first thing, I'm going to give you four. The very first thing is to ask yourself, do I have the type of attitude that God can work with so that I can come out of this place and move on to my next? In other words, if we were to word this differently, what's my attitude like? You see, God needs to have an attitude to work with that is pliable. He needs you to be just really moldable in his hands. And so, what is the attitude that I have? Do I have the same attitude that I walked into this situation with? Do I have an attitude that God can work with? Number two, what's the lesson that God is trying to teach me in this wilderness season? Because I want to get out of it. When I think about the children of Israel, how they complained, how they whined, how they worshiped other gods, whenever they went from one place to the next, it seemed as if they continued to go after the other gods and they just did not want to learn their lesson. You see, the children of Israel were not ready to walk into their next season. And so, number two is, what's the lesson that God wants me to learn here? Because if I'm not learning the lesson, I'm going to find myself walking around this same mountain again and again and again. Or I may find myself having quickly escaped, but I'm definitely going to see myself here again. Number three is, why am I here? God, why am I in this spot? Why am I in this spot? Why am I in this tough spot? Why am I here? What's the purpose? You've got to find the purpose of what for why you're there. You need to be asking God, why am I here? Is it you that placed me here? Is it time for me to leave? Ask the questions. And number four is, am I ready for what God has for me on the other side? And so, in other words, with all of these other questions being asked, am I ready? I think I'm ready. I feel like I'm ready. I'm really tired of what's going on here, so I'm ready. But we may not be ready to go to what's next, even when we're fatigued with what's been going on in our present situation. Because sometimes there are still lessons to learn. Sometimes there are still people to love. Sometimes there are still things that need to be pruned and cut off. Sometimes we're just not ready for the next level. And so, question number four, and I hope you guys are writing this down, literally is, am I ready for what's on the other side, for what's next? Because the season that you're in right now, what's happening right now is very likely a season and time of preparation that God has you in. And so it's so important to embrace where you are, to learn the lessons where you are. Take these 4 how to's, and I guarantee you they're going to change how you think about where you are. They're going to change how you deal with where you are. And they're literally going to change what the outcome is for you and the timing of the outcome. So take these 4 and use them, use them, use them, use them, use them, and walk out of your wilderness season, this desert season, the right way. Walk out the way that God would have you to walk out and be victorious over everything that you're going through in this season. All right, God bless you. I love you, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of the day. And if you don't do anything else, live, surrender. God bless you guys.